Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is April 23rd, 2025. And of course, we have another banner night on our hands here. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff to go through because it's towards the end of the month, and you know, they like to throw things at us as far as updates, unit adjustments, and of course, Golden Week is upon us. So just to kick things off really quick, I wanted to bring attention to this because, well, we have another user survey underway. So if you want to make your voice heard, hell, copy paste stuff, it's there. This is during right now, and then the last day being May 6th. So definitely do your due diligence. Little Bandai Namco link there. Fill out the survey. Let them know. I'm pretty sure they're asking a lot of different things that they've changed so far, including the possibility of AU units. For those that have talked to me before, I don't want to spend too much time on this. You guys already know how I feel, but at the end of the day, it is going to be whatever it is, so forth. So we are now on a major update. As I mentioned before, we do have Golden Week going on, so that means 3 times, as everything is loading up, 3 times the enhancement value for your hangers. So we have powered up hanger campaign going on. We do also have some other step up supply drops in addition to our main event. So this one coming in the form of Mobile Suit enhancement, boosted supply drops for the mechanic tickets, as well as, wait a minute, yeah, enhancements, sorry, I got that out of order, as well as apparently step 2 and step 3 for the anti-beam armor and composite frame A, if you missed out on that. I can't recommend any of those necessarily, but at the end of the day, they're going on. If you find that worthwhile, yeah, that's what's going on with that. We also do have special battles kicking in on the 27th through the 30th for the first week, and for the second week, May 4th through the 7th. So of course, as an example here, we have samples of Mass Driver, Resort, and Tropical Desert. So things are going to get a lot more spicy up close with reduced capture points in some of these cases, I think it looks like. Yeah, well, Resort doesn't have capture points, it looks like. So basically fighting from the middle might be kind of cool. Also can be a pain in the butt, but it does kind of mix things up, and they're back again. So jumping into the adjustments, because that's going to take forever. Looks like the Sosby's back on the block. We do have a buff, it looks like, on HP, as well as its upper levels going into 750. It has a buff towards thrusters. It also has a triple evasion, and then the native 700 is getting leg buffers level 4. So that's pretty neat. The shot rifle is increasing the number of beam projectiles during normal firing, so that's, I'm not sure, it sounds like it's a good thing. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be, but I think it's going to help with the build stun. I know a lot of people are used to running the long rifle in contrast, but also the mega particle cannon, the scattering abdomen deal, is its overheat shortened down in half, 15 seconds. Twin sabers are now being buffed slightly. The pincer funnels are also getting an adjustment with the heat rate and overheat being adjusted. So not only is it going to be able to probably use again with that 50% heat rate, it's also overheating for a shorter amount of time. So getting better stagger accumulation, switching time, ASL is extended. So looks like pretty good additions, including the pursuit form of that. The heat rate's going to be adjusted to be a little bit better in terms of heat rate, going from 35 to 28. Cooldown time, so it's going to fire faster, and it's going to have a ASL adjustment. So So you definitely might be on board again. Messer's also getting an adjustment too. I believe this is the general one. Beam Rifle's getting a reload adjustment. Level 2 is getting a weapon buff, as well as the Sabers are getting a buff for the level 2, not the level 1. Vulcans are getting a range extension, sorry, as well as a shorter reload time and a stagger accumulation and adjustment. Level 2 is getting buff in terms of firepower damage. The mines are actually getting a slightly shorter reload time, and level 2 is getting a damage buff, slight damage buff. The shield phalanx is what they're referring to, gets a range extension and adjustment in ASL. So I'm not sure how much that's going to be effective, but you know, that might be kind of cool. You're probably going to see that more often at, I believe, 650. Not sure if I would see that 700 necessarily. It's in the field there, but we'll see. Might be enough to kind of make it a little more common. But let me know what you guys think about that so far. Looks like the Atlas Gundam, regular Atlas, is getting a buff too. It's getting more HP. Arm buffers are getting increased. The melee boost enhances. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I'm guessing it's, yeah, melee power. Sorry, I'm guessing this is throwing me off because it looks like the grammar is throwing me off. Walking speed is definitely getting a buff. Thrusters, level 3 thrusters are enhanced to 80. So a lot of the buffs right now are leaning towards the level 3 unit. Level 1 is only getting a melee boost. There are tweaks to the range gun, the primary rail gun. So it's getting 2 extra shots, as well as the level 2 is getting a buff in terms of firepower. Sabers are getting a buffed, as well as the twin sabers are also getting a buff. So, yeah, it might be neat. I haven't played it in a while either, but I do know that Atlas is kind of a little bit fragile, and it's not surprising to see that, although I think the leanings are more geared towards it being in 700, so we'll see if it can hang in that cost range. But yeah, I still see it from time to time in 600 and 650. Still a pretty cool suit. The Aqua Gym, I would never thought this would never make the list, is also getting a buff. Wow. It's getting a HP buff. High speed movement's getting a buff. Thrusters are getting a buff. Level 4 thrusters are getting enhanced. Rotation, turning speed is getting buffed, and the level 3 part slots on are getting increased as well. So beam pick is getting an upgrade to hit harder. Looks like the heat wire, the hand anchor, level 2 is getting buffed. Now, of course, sorry, the beam pick level 3 is getting buffed from up. Interesting. And then the shoulder torpedo tubes, the projectile speed is increased. Kind of curious to see how that plays out at lower cost and high cost, because I know for the longest time when they started bringing aqua suits, this was a mainstay for a bit. Rate of fire and the projectile speed. So I'm kind of curious to see how this pans out, because the angle feels like it's a little bit better than the Zaku Marine type, the other general that a lot of people played. But the thing was the speed and the rate of fire was like the biggest thing that the Aqua Gym struggled with. So it was great for like firing at distance. Up close, it was just like, yeah, it wasn't even worth it. So we'll see, but level 2 is getting a power increase, as well as the other ones after that. So I don't know, we'll see. We shall see. I might have to try this out. But yeah. Going into the raids, we have the FF. I didn't think it needed a buff, but it's getting one in the form of HP. Unit skills getting now Maneuver Armor 4. Coming into the same category as, I believe, the Stein. Since both of them were around the same time. I know the Stein was highly favored over the FF, just because you also had Maneuver Armor 4. And then Psycho Frame Resonance is now adjusted to level 2. The cooldown time between the beam burst fire is now 0.8 of a second, with the reload time for the bazooka is now shortened down to 10 seconds. So I think both are pretty viable. I think I had an easier time with the bazooka just because it does open it up to, you know, help your team out when you have to kind of fight your own way through the general front line, but I think both are definitely still pretty good. Looks like they've adjusted the launching version of the large fin funnel. The return speed has been adjusted. The rapid fin funnel firing overheat has cut down to 12 seconds. I believe this is the side when it's in that sub-weapon mode where you're aiming it, not locking on. Looks like the heat rate's also been adjusted down, and the stagger accumulation value has been enhanced. Shield missiles are cut down to 8 seconds, so yeah, this is definitely some definite positives that I didn't think it need to have, but it looks like this is definitely keeping in line in contrast to something like the Stein. CPAX is also getting a buff too, so more HP, level 2, a lot of level 2 adjustments here. So that is the 700 one, so a lot of things are changing at 700. Beam rifle getting adjusted, heat rate for the shield mount beam cannon. I'm kind of skimming this really quick. This will be all on their website there. You guys want to check out at your own pace, as well as the looks like the hand-to-hand is also getting adjusted, and then increased compensation for the lower melee attack, which might be downswinging. Again, these are all kind of translated over, so I kind of have to not take them super literally, but I'm assuming that's for the downswings, not necessarily neutral swings. Messer, the raid is getting adjustment as well. Most of that stuff is 650 level 2 power. I think that might be a slight mistranslation or typo, because I don't think we have a 700 raid Messer yet, or if there is, it's not included. And it looks like the raid Atlas is getting an adjustment as well, positive buffs, so it's getting damage reduction increased to 50% on the arm cushioning, and reduces stagger from accumulation damage. We're also getting some part slot increases as well as HP on that one, so pretty cool. The FS Sazabi is getting a buff as well, so a lot of buffs so far. No real nerfs, but Sazabi FF's getting a buff. More HP, more thrusters, anti-blast stabilizer. Wow, okay. I always liked this Sazabi FF. It's pretty easy to use. It's more one of those close range suits, kind of like the recent RF Gelgoog. But definitely some really cool stuff. The beam shot rifle has stagger accumulation enhanced, and then the mega particle cannon has a shorter overheat now, as well as increased stagger accumulation. So gonna be pretty interesting for all you support fans there. Angela's getting a buff too, so level 2, a lot of level 2s. So this is the 700 version, I believe, or no, excuse me, 650. Sorry. Walking speed, parts capacity, as well as it's getting thruster output increase, reaction booster program, and force injector level 2. The beam shot rifle is also getting tweaked, shorter overheat, heat rates getting reduced, focus time is also being shortened down to 2 seconds, as well as firepower. Power during focus is increased, reduced heat rate charging, and stagger accumulation is enhanced. The beam machine gun is also getting enhanced, higher firepower, shorter cooldown time, and a shorter reload time, as well as similar power, reduced heat consumption, or reduced ammo consumption, and stagger accumulation. I am surprised they are not touching the Bruno gun, which everybody runs with this suit, but I guess they're going under the impression that since everybody runs that and nobody's running the other weapon, you know, they're trying to make it, I guess, comparable. Hard to say. Let me know what you guys think. Custom parts slots adjustment. So combustion agent incendiary effect raised from 20 to 25%. New cushioning damage reduction of cushioning skills effect from 5 to 8%. New model frame, level 4 HP boost increased from 2000 to 2400. And repair tool healing boosted at level 4. Composite motor, mid-range part slot usage decreased from 2 to 0. Thruster control system, reduced thruster consumption while high-speed movement added at level 5, which I don't think I have that. Field motor, close range part slot decreased from 8 to 6. Mid-range part slot usage decreased from 6 to 4. The thing is, they don't tell me what specific one they're talking about, so I'm kind of confused. Optimize underwater ordnance, improved falling effects while underwater, reduced thruster consumption, boosted recovery speed after thruster overheat, and boosted recovery speed after beam weapon overheat. Okay, so that's kind of neat. Also, they've adjusted the space that it takes up. So this one makes sense, but like some of these other ones up top, I'm like, I have them, but I don't. Okay. Yeah, I wish they were referring to the specific parts that they were talking about. Like what level there are. Like level 3 thruster control system. I don't know. I'm reading off of verbatim. Head armor. Level 2 head armor boost. HP boost is increased to 75%. Level 2 damage reduction unit HP is increased from 8 to 12. Long range part slot usage decreased from 4 to 3. So they did, on the level 3, adjust a lot of the spacing. Special back armor for space. Oh, goody. Level 3 rear HP boost increased from 70 to 80%. Level 3 damage reduction to unit HP is increased from 10 to 13%. Level 3 close range part slot usage decreased. Okay, so yeah, basically just small things there. So that's all the major adjustments. I'm pretty sure you guys already know this from the developer letter. We have the Red Gundam from Gundam GQuuuuuuX. We also have a limited boosted supply drop. This is a 4-star, or 4-step, excuse me, 4, so used to saying 4-step, 4-star. 4-step pull, first step being a half-off pull, and then subsequent guaranteed level 4, guaranteed pull on the 4th step. So, pretty cool if you want to pull for this. This is a 500 raid, as it would teased out. We also have a limited supply drop notice for the Gundam EX from Requiem or Vengeance, a level 2 now being available, as well as its subsequent weapons. No discount on that one, so it's unfortunate, but yeah. We do also have some changes to the recycle ticket counter, with the level 4 cat pool now being available, as well as the Gundam ground type GM head level 1 if you've missed out on that. So if you like a glimpse of what should happen with the Gundam ground type, I think the GM head is a prime example, especially with that being a clan reward suit. Definitely pick it up. I don't know what the cost is for it, but if you've been stocking up, saving for that one suit, definitely add that there. We do have some changes to the DP exchange as well. We have the level 2 Psycho Zaku Mark II now being added, and the ZZ mass production type. So I think this is yeah, this is 600, and then this is 550 now for that one there. So really cool stuff. The situation battle has changed as well. We are now doing red versus blue, which is basically not anything super specific. We do have, basically speaking, a Federation versus Xeon themed situation battle. We have, for Team A, G04, Camphor. Actually, yeah, it's not even a Federation, it's just blue units. Sorry. G04, Camphor, GM Sniper 2, Agoof, and BD1. And for Team B, you have the Galbaldi Beta, G05, Gilgu Jaeger, Zaku 2 Type S, and the Red Rider. So definitely it looks like a mix of 2 gens, one or two raids in some cases here, in the case of that Team A, and then you have a support. Though technically speaking, with the G04, you technically have a support and a pseudo support. So pretty cool stuff. I might play that during the weekend, not sure, but that's currently on that. I did kind of click that really quickly. For the first week, it will give you the G05, which is a 450 raid, and then for the second week, you get the chance to get G04, which is also a 450 suit, but it's a general. Now, this is very important because that helps with your tuning for those of you guys that are new, because, well, it helps you unlock stuff for the suit abilities. Alright, so Red Gundam, it's a 500 cost raid, 3-star, and the only fluff text that we have here is it's a suit that appeared on Side 6 in an alternate UC-0085 to participate in a clan battle. It is, of course, a suit that you can use in ground and space. It also comes with a skill called Link Shot. When using a Psycho Boom weapon, your target weapon can be used during high-speed movement. In Red Gundam, the target weapon, main ranged weapon, beam rifle can be used in high-speed movement, while sub-weapons, focus fire or discharge is being deployed and attacking. So, pretty cool stuff if you can get that down. Fairly complex. I would say if you're new to that type of mechanic, definitely gotta get some practice with it for sure. And it looks like we do have a PU-11 suit. I don't know if this is new or not. Correct me if I'm wrong if it is. But if you do 10 pulls, this does give you a chance to pull for that. And I don't think it's available, so if you want to kind of round out your cosmetic collection for whatever the reason may be, there you go. And with that said, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Alright folks, here we are with the Red Gundam here. Now, jumping straight in because we've had a lot to cover. 18k HP, which is not bad for a 500 cost suit. What is mind-boggling and kind of not surprising in certain ways is its resistances across the board. The suit, as depicted in the anime, is very, very sleek, and I guess staying true to that lore, this does have a lot less resistances across the board compared to a lot of raids in the same category. So 13, 15, 17, that's pretty low on the lower side. I would say dang near glass cannon like. We do kind of have a balance number set for both range and melee power. Going into the movement side, 130 walking speed, 210 top speed, with a pretty decent thruster gauge of 65 and pretty much turning speed of 66, which is pretty par for most suits at this cost. I think there are some raids with exceptions that are a little bit faster, like the Jarja, for example, or as we mentioned earlier, the Psycho Zaku Mark II now being available at the recycle ticket counter. So it's going to be interesting considering that, you know, the silhouette for the suit is, you know, it's very unique, especially with the bits there. Going into the custom part slots there, it does have a lot more leaning towards close and medium range. There is a little space of long range, but not very much. Now, primary weapon, we do have a variation of the Gundam beam rifle, its own unique version, coming at 1700 base power, 80% heat rate, with an effective range of 300 meters, has a 2-second focus time, 4.4 second cooldown time, and 15-second overheat. So this will suppress on normal fire, but I believe based on the fluff text here with the focus fire, it's basically a burst fire mode. And this is compatible with the Link Shot skill that we mentioned earlier. It has twin sabers for its primary melee with a base power 2000 with 2.5 seconds between swings. I can only assume this might be a variation of some type of twin saber action. I mean, we've had the Delta Ants, we've had Blue Destiny Unit 2 and the Afrit Kai as an example, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing something with that type of action maybe. But it looks like it's pretty good. Going into the sub-weapon category, we have its unique Vulcans coming at 80 power, 40 shots, 175 meters, 10-second reload time. Pretty standard. I'm guessing it's going to be about 20 seconds to build stagger, basically MA1, that sort of thing. Now, of course, everybody's big question since they saw the teaser is the variation of the Gundam Hyper Hammer. Now, base power 2900, 4.5 second cooldown time, and this is capable of successful attacks. So this is definitely compatible with melee combat controllers on this particular suit, which we haven't gotten to yet because most raids you would expect 3 swings, right? Don't know yet, but we'll get to that shortly because As the showpiece of this suit we have big giant Elmith style bits on there. In this case, this one is focus fire. It looks like it overheats instantly, one use for a 12-second overheat time, but this is a effective range of 250 with 300 per shot times 2. So it will release and fire a couple times, I'm assuming. And build stagger should be pretty good. I would say it's definitely comparable to things like, I would say, well, I'm thinking 550 at this point. The Psycho Mudoga, for example, or like the GBO2, they have a similar mechanic, so anything focus fire like that, I would be surprised. It's going to be very similar to that. Pretty cool, definitely good to use around corners. We do have a bombard mode, so this is going to be interesting with a 15-second overheat, also instant overheat, effective 300 meters with a 500 base power line times 2. So this is going to be one of those you lock on and it just barfs beams. So might be kind of cool. Very similar to like the Kshatriya mechanic on there, except with less remote weapons. Could be really, really neat. And then of course it also has a shield for 1000 HP. Not very high, but not very low. It's kind of normal, I guess, for a lot of the one-year war style suits. So pretty understandable. I would say it definitely will help out with its survivability, considering the shopping list of skills that we're going to go into, because for a 3-star suit, this is not very small. I wouldn't say it's super large, but got some usual suspects here. So Assault Booster 2 obviously has balancers, and Bach 2. So this also has a affinity in space, as of course we did expect this to have priority 3, so that's always a good thing. Have not seen a raid with priority 2 in a while. Please don't jinx that, I'm sorry. Maneuver Armor 2 as well, which is pretty standard for the course. Force Injector 2. So this only has a 2-hit combo, which is I wouldn't say surprising, but you know, I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't have more than 2 swings. But hey, it is what it is. It also comes with Shield Break Mastery, so it definitely matches to a lot of other suits, raid suits at that, that are in a similar category. Has a double roll, has anti-blast. It also has a buffer for those Psychomu weapons, so that kind of answers the question that I had in my head is, you know, is it going to have any damage compensation? We do have EX boost as well for 15 seconds, the level 2 version, and a little thing for the leg shot like we talked about earlier. Yeah, no leg buffers, which Grandpa Gundam does not have either, so I can see that that's gonna be a significant problem for anybody that's playing this or fighting against one. That's gonna be a, I would say, significant weak point that people should be gunning for when they're encountering this. And if you're playing it well, you're gonna have to watch out for it, because it's got nothing to kind of mitigate that. And so that's gonna be that. I think it's proper to probably test run this really quick. So let's go. All right, folks, here we go. We're jumping right in. I don't know what to expect with this.
Ready to begin?
It's one thing to see the skills, it's another thing to try stuff. So, not surprising that, yeah, we're not going to be studying a whole lot on shock dampeners, so let's see how fast this comes out. Huh. Okay. So about 17 shots for breaking MA1.
Combat happens in a mobile suit, so you'll need to be comfortable with the controls.
I can see a problem as far as trying to switch to your other melee. So this might be situational with the hammer. I'm assuming it's probably a heavy stun, but let's see. Looks like it's a regular stun.
You're
But again, I don't know if that's the best example. Alright, so let's see what the buildup is on the, let's see what the buildup is on these bits here for the rush or pursue. So we get like 1 or 2 extra hits, but if they all mostly hit, you're getting somebody like stopping them in their tracks there. All right, let's see the bombard. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty neat.
They excel at hunting support types.
Definitely feels nice. I feel like for a raid, it needs to be a little bit faster, which you could probably adjust, but there's really not a whole lot of space that we can do. Ooh. Let's see. Wow, that's a whiff. As you can tell, I don't play anything with the hammer, so I feel like that's like a heavy stun for generals, but like something like the Zoc, that's gonna be yeah. Alright, melee. Okay, yeah, this is a Delta Ants. So side neutral is 2 hits. Wait, no. The right doesn't feel like it, but I think it's 2 hits. But I can tell you, neutral. Oh yeah, that's a guilty pleasure right there. And of course, where have I seen that cross swing before? I feel like it might be the Ifrit Custom. I know the Ifrit Custom doesn't come out this quick. I think this might actually, it's not the Ifrit Custom. This might be the Raid Atlas. Because look at the flow. That is dangerous for like anybody on the receiving end, but more so that. Because of how quick it is, man, that's gonna be hard to counter, I feel like, but at the same time, this suit is very fragile. Let me try something real quick. I don't yeah. On a fresh spawn, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. But it's a very short time too. So it's like, I feel like it's almost like a last minute ditch. Or if you can guarantee the kill too, because it's just like, once that's done, your overheat it's gonna kill you. Because you only got 15 seconds and then you gotta reposition really quickly, so which could work because you do have some range options. You do have things to kind of stay at midline, try to keep people away, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's got some neat stuff, but I can see some issues people can run into, both on the receiving end and the people that are running this, so yeah. Alright folks, that is it for our coverage of the brand new Red Gundam from Gundam GQuuuuuX. Hopefully you guys are lucky in getting this so far, because there definitely is something there, but that's not to say that it doesn't have its own blemishes, and it doesn't seem like it's something that is going to be easy right off the bat. And if you're down for a challenge, I think this might be one of those suits. But let me know what you guys think of the new suit. If you like it, if you hate it, if you think it's gonna be a menace at 500, or if you think it's just outclassed. It just looks pretty because of the new anime that's out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All I know is that it is taking over one of my cost ranges that I play, and I know we stretched this video on for too long. Not even on purpose, just because there's so much coming around at the end of the month. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Take care.